Hi everybody, Brett back High Altitude Scale Modeling with another Sprue review. This is from a company called Bobcat Hobby Model Kits, who I'd never heard of before until I bought this a couple of years ago in Omaha at the IPMS Nationals. It's IL-28T Soviet jet torpedo bomber. So, looks like this. .48 scale, kit number 48006. So it leads you to believe there's 5 other things they made. Copyright's 2019, made in China. You see that right there. And it's got 5 different schemes from the Soviet Union era, obviously. Here's a little bit about the aircraft. Apparently they made quite a few of these. According to this, they made 6,316 in the USSR, 319 were H5s, 187 HJ7 trainers were manufactured. NATO reporter named Beagle for the Type 27. For the Type 30, it was named Mascot by NATO. It was licensed built in the Czech Republic as Avia B228 and CB228, and in China as the Harbin H5. So, I have not really looked at this much. I know there's a bunch of plastic in it. So we're gonna get on over to the bench and take a look at the plastic and see what it looks like. All right, here we go, looking at this kit. Let's see if there's a date on it anywhere. Take a look. Copyright 2019. Okay, box, length 350, wingspan 500, parts 280 plus. See, the box is a little bit worn out, but hey, that's life. So, we've got clear, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 individually bagged sprues, instructions, and decals. Let's get started, shall we? So, we're going to start with the fuselage. It's got nice retrievable legs. So, you got good panel line detail, access hatches, some antennas, other parts, things like Bombay doors, landing gear doors. Not sure what this is. There's an access hatch. This may be for the tail or the back somewhere. Panel lines go all the way around, which is nice. Inside the, I'm sure it's a Bombay door. Could be landing gear door. But you see there are ejector pin marks they tried to sand out. So they're shallow, not terrible. Inside you got a little structural ribbing in the Bombay. Nothing really in the cockpit area on either side. So, fuselage half. Let's go wings next. There's absolutely no rivets on this anywhere, but there is recessed panel lines. All of the parts. Looks like it's got positionable flaps and ailerons. So, these are the underside of the wings. You see some nice excess hatch detail. Excuse me a second. You get a little bit more light over here. Yes, very nice recessed panel line detail, but no rivets whatsoever. And I don't know, I'm assuming because of when this aircraft was made, it would have a lot of rivets. Ailerons are one piece. Flaps are one piece. Nice touch. So you don't have to worry about seam lines on those. Some more little parts right there. And there's some, of course, ejector pin marks in there. Just make sure they're all flush. Dry fit them, test fit them. Looks like, again, they've got marks where they tried to sand them down. So there's the wings. Here we've got, looks like the nose. Looks like two different kinds of noses. Tail, engines, it looks like. A couple bulkheads, first stage compressors, engine nacelles. These may be the engine nacelles, not the noses. Nose. Which would make sense, considering what sprue it's on. Alright, so here's the whole sprue, and nothing but the sprue. So yes, I'm believing those are the engine nacelles. And you've got your first stage compressors. Again, lots of panel line detail. Your engines, a couple bulkheads. And the panel lines do wrap around nicely all the way. So it's not like the old days where panel lines would fade off as they started wrapping around, but your engine nacelles, engine halves. Again, inside, ejector pin marks. I don't think you're going to see anything in those, especially since the compressors are not hollow. But there's no real detail inside here either. So, engine nacelles. And looks like it's got a turret, the cockpit, tailplanes, elevators, rudder. It's probably the back. I don't know if you have two different ways it can go with the gun or without the gun. Not sure. Seats, instrument panel, bulkhead with quilting on it, some control boxes, radios. So there you go. Again, one piece elevators, just like the rudder and the flaps and the ailerons, so you don't have to worry about a seam line on those. It's tail. You're going to put dials in, and there's your radios and your side panels and your rudders, your cushions for your seats, which is another nice touch. And like I said, your turret. Not sure what this is. These are probably for the tail as well. Again, panel line detail. Nice detail, even trim tab detail on the elevators. And the rudder. And as you can see, let me show you a little better. A nice raised detail on the side panels and control boxes. And the bulkhead. The other side of the bulkhead, of course, has nothing. Floor of the cockpit, I'm assuming. And some more controls for the cockpit. And looks like here we've got landing gear bays, another bulkhead, some more controls for the cockpit, landing gear doors, I'm not sure if these are the closed version of landing gear doors or not. Very nice detail on these tires. I mean, this kit, you know, considering I've never heard of this company before, it's got some very nice detail in their parts. There's no weight on wheels. There's your front wheel and your landing gear leg, which has a little bit of burring on it, but nothing worse than anybody else's. It kind of looks like a tail hook. Side panels for landing gear bays, landing gear door, more landing gear doors, so bulkhead. Like I said, more radio boxes, fuse boxes, side panels, more boxes, landing gear struts, landing gear doors, another bulkhead. All the way through here. All this detail on these is very nice. I mean, look at that detail right there. That does have rivet detail on it. You can see right there, raised rivet detail. And again, as I was saying, these tires, the treading on them is outstanding. If it didn't fit very well, you're going to end up sanding most of it away, but the wheel hubs, great detail as well. The inside of these doors have no ejector pin marks and detail. All of them. These are one piece, but these, no ejector pin mark, raised and recessed detail. All these doors. So they've made some very good work. Took some time with this kit. I'm gonna have to check on scale mates and see if, I mean, same here. These are the inside of the doors and there's no ejector pin marks in them. And there's no sink marks on the other side of the doors. So they took their time with this kit. Like I said, I'll have to go with scale mates, see if they make any other kits. This is the last sprue. And it's got your torpedoes, it looks like fuel tanks, and sway braces, pylons, props for the torpedoes. Pylons are one piece. All the pylons are one piece. These doors here do have ejector pin marks on them. These are, I hope they're not the fins for the torpedoes, because that would be bad. These look like the fins for the torpedoes. Find out when we get to the instructions. So, fuel tanks raised and recessed. Same with the torpedoes. And the pylons. And the sway braces. So far, really nice plastic. For the parts. It's the last bit of plastic we got. It's got some little bit of distortion. They're clear parts. They're not awful. Not by any means. They're not the greatest. They've got the framing is on the inside of that one. It's on the outside. Looks like you have it either closed or open, if I'm reading that right. Yeah, this is the nose, and it's got the framing on the outside, same with the tail one. Well, that's the nose one too. Two different nose ones for two different versions. Again, you know, a little bit of distortion, but nothing terrible. Do that later. Decals. Soviet era decals. Bobcat hobby model kits. Looks like this who made them. There's not a lot of carrier film around them. There is between the letters and the numbers, as you can see. Between all the numbers, they're all connected by carrier film, but the stars are all nice. And you all know how to get rid of silvering. Don't need me to coaching you. I don't see any instrument panel dials though. I thought I would. And the instructions. Here, a little bit about the airplane. No color callouts on the front. Sprue maps, there's your color callouts. Mr. Hobby, Tammy, and Model Master. Model Master was still around when they made these directions. Sprue map. And you're starting, of course. Looks like the bomb site. Seats. Then you're working on the fuel tanks. Then you're working on your front landing gear bay. And in your main landing gear base, I want you to drill some holes throughout these parts. That's all I was telling you, this is finished. These are all finished parts, and then drilling out holes in the fuselage. Working on your tires, wheels, torpedoes. Torpedoes look really nice. Then you're working your pylons, your sway braces, turret. Turret's there, this dome, so looks like both of these go in. Turret's on one side, this dome's on the other side, which it's filled with equipment that if that's, you'll never see. But hey, there you go. And then you're working on your engines, your nacelles. Pretty self-explanatory. There are no, as far as I can tell, no color callouts. You drill out a hole for the Chinese Naval Air Force version only. It says Naval Air Force, okay. Maybe there are color callouts. Q, so yeah, that one's got Q. I'm guessing since most of these, so it's got I and C there, and C and I and C, F, so our color callouts on a lot of this stuff. But not on all of it. Like this says no color callouts. This says no color callouts. You're mounting your nacelles to your wings. Putting your wings together after that. Working on your cockpit. There are color callouts for there. And for here, which looks like goes in your nose. Nope. What's your front of your engine nacelle? This does look like the front of the nose. So anyway, nacelles, engines, nacelles, wings going together. Working on both sides of the fuselage, cockpit, again some color callouts for all the cockpit parts. Seats. The seats have color callouts. Let's find out. 2, yes. Seats got color callouts as well. So you're putting everything into one half of the fuselage. Then you've got 2 wing spars that you're going to put in. So you're working everything on one half of the fuselage. And you're putting the 2 halves together. And it's saying use F-13 nose. Sprue map doesn't block out anything, so I guess for this version you're doing the F-13 nose. Turn it like this. You need 60 grams of weight right here. It's nice that they tell you that. Inside of the door. Tail on. Elevators on. Rear glass on. So I guess you will see everything you put in that tail. You're doing the other side. So it looks like you have to have the landing gear in. I would check it out first to see torpedoes going on the wings. And you're done. So the last step is mounting everything on the outside of the rest of the fuselage. So you're gonna have to decide for yourself how to paint this and what needs to be on and what needs to be off. As you can see, all that goes. Then you've got decals, decal placement, fuel tanks on the wings. That's it. There you have it. That's all she wrote. Good looking plastic, interesting looking instructions, but nothing more than we can handle. We're all good. Bobcat IL-28T, 1/48 scale. Like I said, I've never seen a model kit of this except at one of the model shows I went to, and I found this kit. And I have another one they did. I just don't remember where I put it. So, if you're into your unique Soviet era aircraft, this would be a kit for you if you can find it. I don't know how easy it is to find either. But thanks for watching this Sprue review. Hope it's something that interests you, and if it is, you'll buy one, find one, or if you already built one, sit your ass on the bench and send me a link to or pictures of your build of this. Enjoy your hobby. Bye for now.